and welcome to the Community Empowerment chapter of the MSM Implementation Toolkit, or MSMIT, a tool that offers practical guidance for implementing comprehensive HIV and STI programs for gay, bisexual and other men who have sex with men. This training is brought to you by MSMGF, the Global Forum on Men Who Have Sex with Men, and HIV. This chapter is comprised of 5 interrelated modules that present information progressively and should therefore be approached in order. Let's begin with an overview of the Community Empowerment chapter, so you will know what to expect as you progress through the 5 modules. In Module 1, we discuss definitions of community and community empowerment. In Module 2, we look at the specific ways power and health are related. In Modules 3 and 4, we present the key elements that make up community empowerment. And finally, in Module 5, we present some guidelines for monitoring and evaluating community empowerment initiatives in communities of gay, bisexual and other men who have sex with men. At the outset, we would like to note that in the interest of keeping the language of this tool clear and concise, the term gay, bisexual and other men who have sex with men is often replaced with the shorthand men who have sex with men and/or MSM. These shortened terms should be understood to represent the rich diversity of gay, bisexual and other men who have sex with men, including those who do not self-identify as such. The first module is intended to align your understanding of key concepts with this tool's approach to those concepts. After completing the first module, you should have a basic understanding of 1. Community, 2. Community empowerment, 3. The importance of empowered communities to effective HIV and STI programming. With these goals in mind, let's begin. We start out this module with the definition of seemingly basic, self-explanatory concepts like community and empowerment for 2 reasons. 1. These concepts are central to all the interventions and approaches described in this tool, so it is important that you have a clear understanding of what they mean from the start. In this tool, community refers to communities of men who have sex with men and all of the diversity they represent. Thus, outreach to the community means outreach to men who have sex with men, community-led means men who have sex with men led, and community members are men who have sex with men. And 2, like many concepts that come from a shared technical vocabulary, the words community and community empowerment have come to mean many different things, depending on where and when they are used. Clarifying definitions is especially important when discussing gay, bisexual and other men who have sex with men, a group characterised by a high degree of diversity, depending on the context in which they live. In fact, a high degree of diversity among MSM is often expressed within a single local context. It is important to remember that while men who have sex with men may have a range of shared sexual behaviours and attractions, they do not necessarily share an identity related to those behaviours. They are diverse in terms of age, ethnicity, class background, religion, gender identity, gender expression, family background, and HIV serostatus. Take, for example, 2 men who have sex with men from the same city. One might have an identity related to his sexual orientation, be open to family, friends and colleagues about that identity, and belong to a social group of similar men who have sex with men. The other MSM might not have an identity related to his sexual orientation. He may hide his sexual behaviour from family, friends and colleagues, and may lack fellow MSM friends. The MSMIT's definition of community refers to both of these men. In other words, community refers to populations of men who have sex with men rather than the broader geographic, social or cultural groupings of which they may be a part. This particular understanding of community does not refer to a cohesive group with shared values. Although this can and does exist, it often doesn't. In many cases, men who have sex with men do not disclose their sexual orientation or behaviour to members of their family, friends, neighbours, co-workers and healthcare professionals. Cohesive or identifiable communities of men who have sex with men may not exist or may not be immediately apparent because of this. Take a moment to check your understanding. True or false? Community refers to a cohesive group with shared values. false. This module's definition of community refers to all men who have sex with men, regardless of their level of connection with other men who have sex with men, or with a specific identity. Now let us turn our attention to community empowerment. Community empowerment is the process whereby men who have sex with men are empowered and supported to address the structural constraints to health, human rights and well-being that they face, and improve their access to service themselves. These 4 qualities, choice, control, integration and access, characterise an empowered community of men who have sex with men. These are discussed in detail in the next module. We will turn now to the relationship between community empowerment and HIV and STI prevention initiatives among men who have sex with men. Community empowerment is crucial to achieving impact in HIV/STI programming because it produces positive health outcomes. Strategies for delivering comprehensive HIV services are more effective and sustainable when carried out by empowered individuals, groups and communities. Programs led by men who have sex with men have resulted in improved reach, access, service quality, service uptake, condom use and the meaningful engagement of men who have sex with men in national policies and programs. It is therefore important to ensure men who have sex with men are well resourced and have the ability to take individual and collective ownership of the HIV response in their specific locales. The World Health Organization recognises that men who have sex with men play a critical role in programs that address the social and structural factors contributing to the disproportionate epidemic burden they shoulder, and has made a set of recommendations in the 2014 World Health Organization Consolidated Guidelines on HIV prevention, diagnosis, treatment and care for key populations. The guidelines establish the importance of community empowerment, calling for community empowerment-focused initiatives, legal services to ensure awareness around rights and entitlements, and full participation by men who have sex with men in service delivery. This is not a new discovery. Historically, men who have sex with men have played a key role in ensuring programs are effective in both design and implementation. Powerful communities have been the backbone of the HIV response for 30 years. In many places, men who have sex with men have led the response from the beginning by taking charge of community processes, mobilising with other men who have sex with men to develop solutions to problems, and advocating for their rights as members of a community and as human beings. Empowered communities connect with a wide spectrum of stakeholders. They reach their members, rally support, and lobby their respective governments to tailor national HIV responses to the needs of key populations. Empowered communities challenge societal homophobia as well as internalised homophobia that can lead to self-hatred, poor self-esteem, depression and drug use. Empowered communities start with empowered individuals. In order to design and implement programs that promote community empowerment, we must take an in-depth look at power dynamics, covered in the next module. As an aside, it is important to note that there are many men who do not identify as gay, bisexual, men who have sex with men, or another identity specific to their language, even though they may have sex with men. These non-self-identified MSM pose a unique challenge to community empowerment and mobilisation initiatives, as they may not identify with these programmes or participate readily in them. How do you reach a group that does not have a separate identity? More work is required to understand the best way to reach these men. In the meantime, services, rights and protections that result from community empowerment should be made available to all men who have sex with men, regardless of how or whether they self-identify. Before moving on, please consider the questions presented in this self-check and assess your understanding of the information presented in this module. This brings us to the end of the first module in the Community Empowerment chapter of the MSMIT. To review, in this module we have defined community, community empowerment, explained the importance of community empowerment to HIV and STI programs, and explained how we know this is important. In the next module, we will look to the specific power contexts that support MSM health and well-being, towards understanding how to promote empowered communities through programming.